Hello, ma'am. I'm Ameya Kalgutka, and I'm going to be interviewing you today for the Habit podcast. So, for the first thing to start, I would like to ask you about your career journey and your personal insights as to what personal insights you must give to young entrepreneurs.
So, thanks, Amay, for having me here. And as far as my career is concerned, I started working. I worked for about 11 years in the marketing, telecom, automation, and a lot of other products. And after that, I decided to go on my own and start my business. So again, I started with selling call center we had, and people thought that it is a STD boot at that time because it was very new at that time. So I've always been into products which are like new. And now I own a business which has a culinary institute. We are into catering, we are into building constructions. And I also do a little bit of charity. We have a few charitable institutions, along with the fact that I'm one of the managing trustees of Vivekanand and other institutes like Hemu Kalani and the Harshadwani Foundation.
And also, I would like to talk about the evolution of entrepreneurship over the years. With your several years of experience, how have you seen the market and the marketscape change over the years?
So when we were young, entrepreneurship was not something that was supported by a lot of people. You had to do it on your own. You had to kind of go and find out. Now it's becoming more professional. You're getting a lot of people who are wanting to you have angel investors and you have people who are wanting to fund you. And in fact, our Habit Foundation is even going one step before that and saying that even before you start funding, even your ideas are getting incubated. In our times, this was not happening. So I think there is a big paradigm shift that is happening in terms of saying that, okay, now there is a lot of support, like there is a lot of information available to youngsters to be able to go and do that. And that's why we are saying that, becoming an entrepreneur is something that everybody wants. It's not that, when we were kids, people say, okay, I'm engineer banunga, I'm doctor banunga. Now people want to even become businessmen, even if their own family is not running businesses. So that's the change we are looking at.
So, ma'am, you would like to suggest that it's a positive change over the years?
Definitely, because like we just saw in the panel discussion that we had, people are saying that if you need to create wealth and if you need your next generations to be rich and happy, you need to get into business because that is what is going to grow. With when you do a job, when you retire, it ends. But with the business, it carries on to the next generation and the next generation. And India having such young population, we really need these young guys to go start up businesses so that the economy grows and India overall grows.
I'm talking about businesses. What would be a key learning that separate a good business from a bad business from the early grassroots phase? What are some key identifiers that you could tell me?
So business, there is nothing which says that you will succeed from the day one. The key learning I will say for a business person would be to, every time you fail or every time you find a setback, use that to your advantage and see what not to do and move on and do something better. So my key learning will always be that it is not that you will not face failures, but you need to overcome those failures by learning from those failures. So that is would be my key point.
Ma'am, I would also like to talk about your milestone. That what would you say that is the milestone in your career and in your journey?
So for me, the milestone was shifting from working. I was a working person. I worked for more than 11 years. And then I decided to start my business. So that I consider as my milestone because, like I said, I started with a call center, which at that time was very relatively new. So the growth that we saw was quite exponential. And that I can call it as milestone. I'm so glad that I did business.
As you suggested, how does one find these key trends? Like back in the days when you started your own business, what did you identify as the need and as how that this should be something that I could invest in or I could do something new in? So how does one find that out?
So it is see, I personally feel that there are a lot of opportunities and you can succeed in so many things, but you have to have one focus in your mind and you have to decide that, okay, this is the one thing that I'm going to do. So it's not that what you have to find, you have to look around you, see what is missing, where is that gap which you can fill in. So in my case, I used to work with BPL Mobile At that time, the mobile industry boomed. In fact, I started with BPL Mobile when BPL Mobile launched the mobile phones in India. So we realized that the call center, because the number of people who will be buying mobile phones will be so large, and the call center that we have is going to get outsourced very shortly. So that's the time I realized that, okay, call center is something that will boom, which it did. So having said that, I'm not saying that the guy who's doing something else like selling mobile phones would not boom. So every industry booms as long as you have your own focus in place. So you have to find why, where, what is missing, and then try and get that gap filled.
But ma'am, you would also suggest that being early to any point would also be an important function.
See, the early bird will have two things. One is the advantage is that if you succeed, it's like big success. But the early bird also does not have precedence in front of them. So there are chances of you failing also quite a bit because nobody has done it, so you don't know how to do it. You're doing a lot of trial and error. So big risk, big gain. That's what I can say.
It's like you have to pave your path yourself.
Absolutely. So if you're going into something which is like absolutely new, then like I said, it's a big risk and a big gain. Where you go is what your determination takes you.
Definitely. Also, I would like to talk about what an individual must have to be an entrepreneur. Like what qualities an individual should have and what qualities one does not have that needs to be developed.
So, if I may use the Hindi word junoon, if you have the junoon, if you have that very, very big burning desire to succeed in what you think is the right thing to do or what you think will succeed, then you will go all out and do it. You cannot say that theek hai, hoga to hoga. That doesn't work. You need to be very, very focused and say that, okay, this is what I think will work and let me go all out and do it. I should not leave any stone unturned, or I should not after a few years feel kash maine wo kiya hota. So that I think is the key. You have to give it your 100%.
Also, as a woman in entrepreneurship, what key factors or key advices you would give to a young woman in entrepreneurship, wanting to start, wanting to get a head start in this entrepreneurship journey?
So, as far as women are concerned, we have to understand that even today in India and some places even in the Asian countries, you are supposed to balance between your family and your work. So to be able to balance that is very important because somewhere I think that because we are focusing so much on the career, the kids don't get the kind of time or the family doesn't get that kind of time. So I think for women, it is all the more required for them to create a proper balance between their personal and their professional life.
Sure. Also, I wanted to talk about your economic philosophy and the market cycle that is going on right now. So, what would you comment on the market cycle and what are the future predictions that you could make to coming entrepreneurs?
So, we keep saying this and I'm repeating it that because India has a very large young population, you have a lot of people who are now ready to be able to go into the industry. Whether they go to work or they go to business, they will be creating further opportunities. So India is definitely booming. India is definitely going to be a big economy, which is not a rocket science now. It's something that you can predict very, very confidently. So I would say that the economy is moving very nicely. We have the required skill sets as well. We have the most intelligent people coming out from India. Our institutes are very well trained. So the economy will go up. There's no two things about it.
Sure. So there is potential future and potential upsides to investing and entrepreneurship in India. So that you would say that everything is looking upwards.
I would not say everything because there is nothing called everything, but I say most of it is looking upwards because it is not possible that people will not fail. There will be some ideas that will fail. There will be some ideas that will succeed. Having said that, I'm saying if you have a desire to succeed, the tools or the inputs or the support that is going to be provided to you today are much, much larger. So chances of success are higher. However, failure will still be there. Thank you.